Alright, next is Portalcraft, and of course, less ideal will be neutrals. And when I go through the neutrals, you'll see why a lot of these other crafts will be crazy. But Portal, I've actually looked at the least. I think I've looked at only half the cards. So I have no idea what Doll Operation does, Doll Mazir, Dazzling Archer, Magnetic Aether, Hans Tiger, Artifact Call, Crab. I don't know what a lot of these do, so we'll see. But this is one a lot of people are talking about. Dreadnought Gorilla, a playpoint 8/8. Fanfare, if Resonance is active for you, or if you have a tree, gain Storm. So, this card's boring, to say the least. It is a win condition, and Portal, depending on their other cards, could potentially win with this. But, I don't know, it's just kind of boring. I'm not sure what else they would be doing with this. Like, I'm not sure what other win condition. Maybe it was one of those, okay, we have 7 unique win conditions for the other crafts. What do we do with Portal? Okay, let's just give them Storm. That's essentially what this felt like when I looked at it. So, I don't know. I don't really like the card. I don't really care for the design. It's a boring card to play. I don't know. It might be good, but it certainly isn't interesting. But it is good that Portal can get just a raw good card. So, they haven't had one of those in pretty much ever. Awakened Ragna. 2 playpoint spell. Deal 3 damage to a random enemy follower. Enhance 9. Choose, put a Vesha, Herald of Ravage, an Izula of Death, or a Jotet, Herald of Despair into your hand. And so Vesha is a 0 playpoint 10/10. Fanfare, discard your hand and give your leader the following effect. Give At the end of your turn, change the enemy's leader's maximum defense to 2. Despairs is a 0 playpoint 10/10 with Rush. Fanfare, subtract 8 from your maximum number of playpoints. So you go down to 2 playpoints. And you reduce damage to this follower to 0, and it cannot be affected by spells and effects, except for those that change this card's attack or defense. So it becomes an Aegis for the cost of 8 playpoints. Oh boy. And then Death is a 0 playpoint 10/10. If you have 4 cards or more in your deck, banish all cards until there's only 3 remaining. Then banish all other followers and amulets. Before I talk about the cards, I just gotta say, this artwork is amazing. I don't know who drew it, but this is really good artwork. And I even animated the copy I got in the pre-release. And I just wanted to show it real quick because it's really cool. But yeah, pretty good artwork. It's just a beautiful card. It's gorgeous. So yeah, I just wanted to show that real quick. But what do I think about the card? So on the base, it's a 2 playpoint 3 damage removal, which is always good. And late game, on turn 9, since they're all 0 cost, you can either almost kill your opponent, you can discard your whole deck to get rid of, like, basically have this be a Bahamut, or you can sacrifice all your play points to have an Aegis with Rush. This one will probably be played the most, the Despair, if this card's played. Death seems kind of underwhelming because you sacrifice your entire deck just to board wipe. And maybe in a pinch that would be useful, but it just seems kind of underwhelming. And this one is essentially just a big do nothing. Maybe if you can afford to do nothing, then you can maybe get away with doing this, but then you really don't have a way to kill them unless you can somehow do 2 damage pain. And by that point, you probably are doing something that would have killed them already. But I think this card is good, and I'm just gonna play it just for the fact that it has good artwork. So we'll see. And definitely you can use it as removal. And turn 9 you can use it as a 3 damage removal and get your option of choice. And the fact that you get the choice is very versatile. So if you know you're gonna lose anyway, maybe you'll do the Bahamut effect, or they only have 1 follower out or 2 followers out, and you already killed one with 3 damage. So rush the other one, and now they have an unstoppable threat that they have to worry about. So this card definitely has a lot of potential, and we'll see how it plays out. Cannon Hermit Crab, 6 play point 6/6. At the end of your turn, if Resonance is active for you, or if a tree's in play, summon a Cannon Hermit Crab and change its attack and defense to XY. X and Y are equal to half this faller's attack and defense, rounded up. So turn 6, you play this. So based on how this word, it's not the original attack and defense. So if you traded this with like something with 5 damage and you had 3 HP left, you'd get 2 HP crab back. So this card is decent. I don't know if you'll see play. At best, you could get an 8/8 and a 4/4. And if they can't get rid of both of them, then you can get another one, and then another one, and then another one. But they do keep getting weaker and weaker. I don't think this card will see play. It just seems a little too weak. And Portal already has so many good win conditions, why would you be playing this? And they also have a lot of good value cards on this turn, that why would you be playing this? So yeah, I don't think this card will see play. Artifact Call. Put a random artifact from your deck into your hand. If Resonance is active for you, put 2 artifacts instead. And it's a 2 play point. This card's pretty good. You just get an artifact or 2 artifacts, and then you can use those. It's really good for artifact decks. It will definitely put Maisha in a better spot, I think. It's just a good card. And the fact that you can really force out the artifacts you want really early. I mean, if you think about it, you can just play Mechanization turn 1, then turn 2. If you have Resonance, you can pull your... I think you get Resonance going 2nd or 1st. I forget exactly which. I think it's 2nd. You get Resonance on turn 2. So you can essentially just get 2 artifacts that you put in with Mechanization, and then you go crazy with the artifacts. So I think this card will definitely see play in Artifact Portal. It seems pretty good. Enhanced Tiger, 4 play point 3/3. Rush, strike. If there are no tree in play, summon a tree. If a tree is in play, gain +1/+1. So it adds a tree. Or if you already have one, it gives you 4/4. I don't think this card will see play. Honestly, the tree archetype is very underwhelming for Portal right now. A lot of it is just kind of, if a tree's in play, you get a very small benefit. And then if a tree's in play, you can just storm your opponent for a lot of damage. And half of these effects, you can just do Resonance and get the same thing. Like, if you really think about it, Gorilla, you can just wait for a turn with Resonance and then just do 8 damage for the win. You don't even need to build this in a Natra deck. I feel like you wouldn't, because all these Natra cards just don't do really anything that goes towards a specific win condition or play style. They all seem kind of arbitrary and random. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed with what I've seen so far for Natra for Portal. Portalcraft's one of my favorite crafts, and I'm pretty disappointed. Portal and Forest are my favorites, and I'm really happy with the Div Forest, but Portalcraft is so far not shaping up, and I don't think this card would be played over a lot of other stuff. Maybe the 4/4 Rush is good. Maybe I'm undervaluing this card. But it's Certainly underwhelming. I don't think this card will see play. Ines, Maiden of Clouds, 3 play point 2/2, cannot be attacked. Whenever Resonance becomes active for you, deal 1 damage to all enemies. This is really good. Can't be attacked, so if they don't have removal, it's stuck there. And then if they ever, something I wish they've always done is to build like a Resonance spamming deck, and they've never really done that. Certainly with trees, they could have made an archetype, and seeing a card like this makes me think that. Because if you have like 5 trees or 6 trees, you can basically go into Resonance 3 times. And so if you had a few free trees, on turn 6 you could do 3 damage AoE and face, and this can't be attacked, which would be really cool. But the problem is, I don't think there's enough support to really do that, and it doesn't seem like they're really doing a Resonance type archetype with Portal, and it seems like a lost opportunity. So, but this card's good though, in a vacuum. We'll see how it plays. I don't think it'll be as good compared to a lot of stuff, but if they don't remove it, you can do a lot of AoE damage and face damage all at the same time. So I think this is a good card. And of course, the Aether, put a tree in your hand, recover a play point, and put a Radiant artifact into your hand so you can get storm damage. Pretty similar to Dragons, except a little less storm damage. It's okay. It's just okay. I would say it's a good card, like all the other trees, but again, Portal doesn't really have tree support. Dazzling Archer, 7 play point 4/6, crystallize 1, countdown 2. At the end of your turn, put an analyzing artifact and an ancient artifact into your deck. Fanfare, deal 4 damage to an enemy follower. I don't think this card will see play. Ancient artifact is, I believe, the 7 play point card, and you don't really want a lot of those in your deck. And the 4 damage is underwhelming on Fanfare, and yeah, this card is just, it's alright. Let me make sure I'm right about the Ancient Artifact, though. No, Ancient Artifact is the one, okay, it's the 1 play point rush. Okay, so maybe this card's a little better than I thought. So you can get 2 Analyzings and 2 Ancients in your deck for 1 play point. And this replaces the need for mechanization. You could play it and then use the new artifact call card, whatever it was called. So yeah, this card's good. Yeah, I thought that was the 7 play point one. That would have been bad. I guess I could have just clicked the Ancient Artifact down there. I'm stupid, but this card's okay for the Crystallize effect. I don't know if you'd play it for the Fanfare, but I guess it can help you in a pinch. But then still, I don't know if you'd still play this. I don't know. It's an okay card, but it does take up a word slot too. Not liking it as much anymore again. There's probably better things you could be playing than this. We'll see. Dollmeister, Fanfare, enhance 6, put a puppet in your hand and give it Bane. It's a filler. It's a pack filler. A puppet with Bane's okay, but then it's just a 2/2 that you're leaving, and that's a hefty cost for turn 6, and it's not as good as like Valse for Swordcraft, because you can banish, remove on evolve, a lot of stuff. This is literally just kill something, and then it just get a weak body left. Yeah, I don't think this card will see much play, if any at all. It's just a filler, pack filler, I think. Drill Hedgehog. Put a tree into your hand. If Resonance is active for you, gain Rush. So if you go second, you can rush your opponent and use it as a control tool. And then you get a tree. I mean, it would be good if tree was good, I think, but tree's not that good. But it's cool to see Hedgehog back. I still think Hedgehog sort of won the Swordcraft polls, but never did. But I like the card. It's cute, and Hedgehog's always going to be cute. hope they make Hedgehog Leader for somebody. But yeah, it would be a good card if Natra was a lot better than what it is. Doll Operation. Give a random puppet in your hand +4, and then enhance 7. Put 2 puppets in your hand. Give 2 random puppets in your hand +4. So this card is good. So give a puppet 4. If you get Maisha, you can get, or anything really with a buff, but Maisha is the one I'm thinking of. You could get Purgatration's Blade, get +4, so you could have a 5 Storm Puppet, potentially a 9 Storm Puppet, and if you got really high rolly, a 13 Storm Puppet. So you could have a really strong puppet. And in conjunction with this, you could play this with the Gorilla. So you could do like maybe a puppet Gorilla deck. And then just with Maisha and just kill. Actually play OTK with that actually. You could just play Gorilla and a puppet with 12 damage. Or 13 damage in that case. It could be the meme's there. I don't think it's going to be quite that easy, but no, it's cool. I think this card is good for just the removal factor. You can get a basically it's like a 1 play point, 5 damage removal. It's pretty good. This card might see play in the Destruction archetype, but I don't think it'll see play in any of the new archetype, if you can even call it that. So, we can't tell what my thoughts of Portal is. Why? Half the cards feel like they didn't know what to do, so they just didn't do it. And it's really quite disappointing that it turned out that way, because with the trees, instead of doing an archetype where it just wants a tree in play like everything else, they could have made Portal a bit unique with the resonance effect and just had a bunch of resonance effects. And so Portal's strategy would then be to use the trees to constantly get itself back into resonance and to boost cards such as the Maiden of Clouds, or maybe this thing could have been at the end of your turn always split in half and then get +1/+1 each time you go into resonance. Or they could have just done anything. I think it would have been a much more interesting archetype. It feels like they didn't really know what to do with it, and it's kind of a shame because it seems pretty obvious that you would use the tree archetype as an easy way to get into resonance with how much you can draw and how cheap the draw is. And resonance has never really been played with Portalcraft, so it's a really, if side games for some random reasons watching this video, I would just like to tell them, like, why not make a resonance archetype? I don't understand. You had the idea with the clouds, Maiden of Clouds, but then it went nowhere else. So maybe the mini expansion will bring some resonance, but I don't think it'd be enough to bring the full support. It really depends on how hard they try to push it, but I don't think so because Gorilla exists and he's not really that interesting. And yeah, it's a disappointment. I'm a little disappointed with Portal. I think Destruction will still be the main way to go with Portal. Maybe the Gorilla's raw value will be enough to just push this archetype, but yeah, I don't think it'll see play that much, this archetype. I think it's, out of what I've seen for everything, and even I've seen most of the neutral cards already, so I think neutral's not really a craft anyway, but yeah, Portalcraft's probably going to be the weakest this expansion in terms of new cards. Whether Destruction's still really good, I don't know yet, but their new cards I think so far, or not so far, but will be the weakest this expansion. They didn't really get anything that screams play me, except maybe Maiden of Clouds and some pseudo resonance archetype, and then maybe with that mixed in with the Gorilla, and maybe the Hermit Crab is good. Maybe I'm undervaluing it, but I just wish they they did something with Resonance. I've always wanted to see them do something Resonance focused, and I really didn't feel like they did it. They almost did it, but they didn't quite do it. Because imagine, he's rotated out, I think, in Brigade of the Sky. Yeah, he did. I think he was Brigade of the Sky. Because even, it'd have been nice to see Malachio with this support. Like, it'd be really easy to get into and out of Resonance. And so turn 3 or turn 6, you could essentially have a... Yeah, on turn 6 you could easily get +2/+2 a lot of times. And maybe there's a meme somewhere in Unlimited, but this meme is gone from rotation already. So yeah, I don't think Portal's too hot this expansion.